Quick note, if you want to support my efforts in California, any little tip helps, including $25, $69, or whatever, donated over at meetkevin.com/donate. Thanks for your help. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Today is the big day. I'm gonna give you a quick update on why today is the big day. But first, I wanted to mention this. I thought this was really interesting. I've never seen this before, but apparently on my Wikipedia page, there's this whole section where you could go to like this talk button or something like that. And it was so interesting to me because I was reading some of this stuff, and there are these people having like full-on debates here, like a back and forth debates about whether or not I should be considered a landlord influencer, which this doesn't actually sound horrible. I mean, maybe, well, landlords had like a negative connotation lately. But anyway, it's kind of funny. Like, I had no idea that people go in here and they have like all these debates and stuff like this. This is crazy on Wikipedia. But anyway, oh look, Paffrath, who is known professionally as Me Kevin, says he will sue. Well, it has sued. Actually, I think AP covered me this morning that we're suing. But anyway, okay, Wikipedia is very interesting. But anyway, let me give you an update on what happens today and why today is the big day. We are going to court at 3 p.m. today. We have our case assigned. Our judge is Judge Chang in the Sacramento 21st. We're really, really excited. We are prepared. We're ready. I'm kind of anxious myself, and I'm honored to have a few folks from the social media community, Ross Gerber, hopefully Graham Stephan, and we'll see who else is willing to come. Maybe Warren Redlick, George Gammon, some wonderful people, all offering to come as witnesses. So if you're interested, by the way, in being a witness in terms of my identity, and maybe you have a legal background of some sort, hey, leave a comment down below. But today's the big day. It's going to be 3 p.m. So hopefully at like 4 or by 4:30, we have an answer as to whether or not it can be on the ballot as Kevin, Meet Kevin Paffrath. Right now, they've taken my nickname away from me, the middle. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, a good example, and I want to see what y'all think, but a good example might be, hey, like, if you're running as Mr. Beast, or let's say Mr. Beast ran for office, would they put him down on the ballot as Jimmy Donaldson? Or would it be Jimmy Mr. Beast Donaldson, right? Like, my assumption is they would obviously let him use his nickname, just like they've let people use their sumo stage names in the past. Or here's another example. What if PewDiePie ran for office? Would they put Felix and then his last name, or just Felix PewDiePie, and then his last name, right? This is the way you incorporate nicknames. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting. I do want to mention this, though, right here. Take a look at this. There was a Tucker Carlson piece touching on, because there are 3 big lawsuits right now against the Secretary of State. I have one. This other person, Kevin Faulconer, has one, and then this Larry Elder person has one. Tucker Carlson talked to Larry, but it was very interesting because Tucker Carlson introduces some of the stuff about the madness of California and the Larry Elder lawsuit, but I do want to add a little bit more detail about what's happening here in the background in case you're interested. So let's go ahead and play a little bit, and then we've got our fingers crossed for 3 p.m. So we'll see what happens. Here we go.
So Gavin Newsom is the governor of our largest state, California. He's a liberal Democrat, but the problem is deeper than that. It's not even ideological. He's just a bad governor. The state doesn't work very well. It's more crowded every year. It's dirty as hell. You got junkies living on every street corner in every park, and they can't even keep the power on. So it's a failed state. It's embarrassing. And even if you don't live in California, you should be embarrassed and horrified by it. Why do we allow this, and why let some tiny-brained moron like Gavin Newsom wreck our prettiest state?
I do have to say, it's kind of sad that the 5th largest economy in the world, the state of California, has become the embarrassment of the country. It should be the example for the country.
That's how most people in the state feel, even the Democrats. So they're going to recall him. A lot of people joined the race, and last week one of our friends did. Larry Elder, who's a radio show host in the state, joined in the recall effort and the election to replace him. But now the state of California is trying to keep Larry Elder off the ballot. So today, Elder announced he is suing the California Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, for wrongfully blocking him from the ballot. Talk about an attack on democracy. He says he's complied with the state laws, and the move to block him is entirely political, which, since it's California, you can believe.
Okay, I'm going to pause there because now Larry starts talking about his campaign and campaign issues. But the reason I want to stop there is because I want to add the commentary that Larry is suing because he submitted tax returns that had apparently some improper redactions. So if you black out too much, redact, blackout, if you black out too much, then you could get rejected. If you don't black out enough, then you could get rejected. So for example, like you're supposed to black out your social and addresses, or you can black out addresses if you want. Sort of, there's some things that are optional, some things you have to do. But socials, you have to black out, and if you don't, then technically you didn't do it properly. Now, Larry's arguing that, well, the Secretary of State should have just put the black ink on it for us, which is true. It's not that hard. However, the Secretary of State has been complaining that they've been overwhelmed because, they tried squeezing everything into this last week. But honestly, that's not necessarily Larry's fault. That's the Secretary of State's fault. They should be ready to accommodate for the amount of requests that come in. So it'll be interesting to see if the judge makes an exception to the rules, because that's really what Larry's going for. He's going for an exception to the rules, saying like, yeah, okay, look, I made a minor mistake, but should that really burden me to where I can't go on the ballot? So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Larry's lawsuit. Then we've got Kevin Faulconer. He used to be the mayor of San Diego. Homelessness doubled in his last term in office over there. And he's trying to get on the ballot, retired San Diego mayor. But your little subline, which is your profession, is supposed to be what your current profession is. So for example, mine is financial educator / analyst. But the Secretary of State is saying, well, that's not really your current profession. You're not really a San Diego mayor anymore, and former or retired is not a profession. It's a profession you used to have. So we've got these 3 big lawsuits today. Kevin Faulconer is at 2 p.m. I'm at 3 p.m. And I don't know when Larry Elder's is. I haven't seen his get scheduled yet. So we'll see what happens. But 3 p.m. today, we're going to know some results. Well, that's when the court case is. So I'll be in court. And shortly after that, we'll hopefully have a result. I just have my fingers crossed. I'm a little nervous because I know everybody on YouTube knows me as Meet Kevin, but I'm a little concerned that what happens if, and I have a lot of faith in the justice system, hopefully not too much, but what happens if a judge is like, I don't understand YouTube, like, who cares if your screen name on AOL is, drunk dude 2449, like that's not your nickname. Like what if you get that thinking, which is obviously very different from creating a whole identity around something like PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, or Meet Kevin, right? So we'll see. We shall see. I really appreciate all of you watching and your support, and folks, wish me luck. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.